So I'm writing a book, and I need to make sure that I'm not distracted as I'm writing it, because the problem is, this is a distraction machine. When I'm on my laptop, I find myself surfing the internet, doing YouTube, all sorts of things that are not the actual thing that I want to do. And so there are methods to control this. You can have software on your laptop that deactivates different types of software so that you can basically make it hard to switch as you're trying to focus on a specific task. But I always end up deactivating those and sabotaging myself. So I decided I needed a hardware approach rather than a software approach to solving my problem for writing books. This is the Palma 2 Pro. It's an e-ink reader meant for reading like ebooks, and it's a fully capable Android device, kind of like a phone, but without the phone part. And I selected it because it wasn't something that was going to be projecting light into my eyes. I feel like when you're looking at a regular monitor, that's part of why it's sort of a distracting and simultaneously entrancing experience, and I wanted something less stimulating. The next component was this Bluetooth keyboard, which has a trackpad and just a full keyboard, and it's pretty substantial if you look at the hands, the size of it, and it's has a great form factor. So use that one. The last component was this little handheld tripod. The tripod is specifically for smartphones or any device that really fits into these little jaws, and it's something that I've been using for filming beforehand, and it's an extendable tripod. So the idea then was to take the Palma, put the Palma 2 into the jaws, and from there I could write like this. And that was pretty effective, but it got me thinking that I needed something that was more a single unit. That's what I wanted, because otherwise it was just always rolling around in my backpack in separate pieces, and I had to kind of dig it out every time. And I had like a little bag that I was putting it all in, but it just didn't feel right as something that I wanted to be able to deploy as quickly as possible. There were a few design requirements when thinking about this. It had to unfold. It had to have the telescoping mechanism, because without the telescoping mechanism, I'd be sort of slouching down looking at the display, and I really wanted it close to eye level. And figuring out where I was going to put that telescoping mechanism was interesting. Like, it could go on the sides or maybe in the back. But then, like, how chunky is it going to be? I didn't want it to be something that was like just hard to handle. I wanted it to be very handleable. So it had to be in this form factor that was kind of this sandwich that would open up and then telescope upward afterward. And kind of looks like, I forget what that Tron vehicle was in the movie, the original Tron, but yeah, it gave me some feelings about that. This is how it ended up in CAD. It kind of gave a sort of a crab-like design with that top plate. The rods on the side are just the telescoping mechanism in its multiple pieces. So after designing the files, I did make some little prototypes to make sure the telescoping mechanism was working. This little tiny adorable one. And then there was a whole bunch of like pieces that I got wrong on the dimensions, and parts that I ended up gluing together and not gluing together. But afterward, we ended up with the frame, and the frame is two small latching mechanisms that are just press fit into place, basically. And so the keyboard, it ends up sliding in like this, and then there's a little pull-out tab to grab it into place, and that holds the keyboard in place. And then there's the slot that it goes in this way for this piece, and that you have to pull it up, and once you pull it up, there's enough room to slide it just in between the telescoping mechanism, and that gives us our our display. So now we have the display and everything can work. That's basically it. So this ends up being a lot different from your normal sort of Cyberdeck. Like, yeah, there is some custom frame and things like that. There's no custom things like trying to integrate a Raspberry Pi or anything like that. The computer is just the computer inside this little guy, and it's a fairly low power system. Battery lasts forever, which I really like. And I can just sort of walk away from it after typing for a bit and then come back and type again. And I don't have to worry about my battery running out. And that's it, you know, an Android device with a remote keyboard and fairly eye-level viewing, so that I'm not hunching over at some weird angle. And so, yeah, it works for me. I like the form factor and everything, and it does store up. I did have to put these in the back, which was a little unfortunate, to get it to make sure that it doesn't wobble over and fall. But other than these guys, I was really happy with the design. I think a round 2 would probably need some sort of handle here, which I did in my drawings have a handle. But having a handle that grabs both the keyboard and the display is a little difficult to do. So that'll definitely be for version number 2. On to the mediocrely filmed glamour shots. I'd like to thank all of my Patreon members for supporting me. I really appreciate it. And I just want to let you know that you can create anything. And, you know, just even if it's the littlest thing, go out and create something. It's always wonderful to make something nice for yourself or for someone else. And as always, make sure to be easy on yourself. Bye.